I'm reviving the branded Cyber Dragon deck, and I'm very excited to show you guys what I have in store for July. I want to shout out Team Set Pass's video because he gave me this idea. When I saw that his Cyber Dragon build had Cyber Dragons, Clockwork Knight, Dragoon, and other branded stuff, I knew I had to try it out. Obviously, I didn't just copy his exact deck, I added some things and cards that I prefer, but the overall idea I wanted to give him credit for. Jumping into the deck tech, we got 3 Cyber Dragons because we are playing Clockwork Knight, very exciting. Obviously, Cyber Dragon deck, 3 core, not really going to go too much into detail with that. It's the start of the deck, going to grab us our Cyber spells. We're running 1 Hers and 1 Naxter. Only really need 1 Hers in this deck because we're going to send it to the graveyard with Branded Fusion, and the 1 Naxter is just going to help us revise some stuff later in the game. For the Cyber Dragon monster lineup, that's all. Quite small, quite sad, but it's just how it is. Next, we're playing 3 Aluber because this card is just dumb good. Gonna be able to get our branded spells, and we also get to negate some stuff when it's in the graveyard. Playing 2 Fauna Albaz because this card also is amazing, but it doesn't really act as a starter like Aluber does, and because space purposes, we had to cut something. We need at least 2 of these because almost all of our fusion plays revolve around this card, so if we just have 1 and something happens to it, that's very bad. 1 Dark Magician because Dragoon is a cool card. I know I was ripping on Dragoon months ago, but man, that card is fun. That card is insane. It's obviously a brick in the deck, but I wanted to keep it. Was considering adding Shadow Winda in the deck, but I didn't want to play too many bricks, and I felt like that might be a bad thing to do. Playing 2 Jizukiru still because I love kaijus. I just like being able to remove anything from the board and deal with it later on because it's pretty easy in this deck to remove that, so that's why I'm running 2. And we're playing 3 Ash Blossom because hand traps are good and Ash is great. Really generic, kind of hits every deck. Just something to help slow our opponent down. That rounds up the monsters. Let's go over to the spells. For these spells, we're doing 3 Cyber Emergency just to get our Cyber Dragons to our hand. Pretty standard in a Cyber Dragon deck. Next up, 3 Branded Fusion. This card honestly should be limited to at least like 1 or 2, but it's essential for this deck because it's the main way we're going to be able to fusion summon, but more importantly, Cyber Twin and Rampage Dragon. Branded Opening, just because it acts as another starter, getting our Aluber to the field, and also when this is in the graveyard, we could banish it and protect our fusion monsters. That's also another reason why I like the branded stuff for Cyber Dragons, because that additional protection that it offers. Like Branded Opening as well as Aluber, you know, kind of giving some protection, but I guess the branded stuff just gives fusion decks a lot more, I guess, stickability, or I guess more power in a very hefty meta. Moving on, we got 3 Clockwork Knight. Love this card. Great card, Cyber Dragon deck. Next up, we got 2 Fusion Deployment. This is going to allow us to special summon cards like Cyber Dragon, Fauna Albaz, or even Aluber. I think Branded Lost is a really good card, so I'm going to be testing it out. The activation of our cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summons a monster cannot be negated. Also, our opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster fusion summoned this way. This also works really well with Rampage Dragon because they can't negate that effect. And also when we fusion summon a monster, we get to add a Fauna Albaz to our hand, or a card that mentions it, so really good. We can also search it too because it is a branded spell. Now for some more generic stuff, we're going to Called By, Change of Heart. I run 3 Evenly Matched. I just love this card. Every time it comes up, it's just like, wow, that's a great card. And this is still kind of considered a going second deck, so I think it has its place. Although if I had to cut something, it'd probably be that. Then we had 2 Infinite Permanents just because it's, again, another really good card. Moving on to the extra deck, we're playing Dragoon because this card is awesome. One of the best cards in the game, and again, I love Red Eyes cards, but the problem is Red Eyes archetype is really bad right now, so the only way to really play Red Eyes is through branded cards. So definitely add that. Very happy to add that in this deck. Next up, we got Cyber Twin because it's one of the best Cyber Dragon cards in the game. We obviously got Chimera Tech Rampage. These 3 cards are easily able to summon with Branded Fusion, and we have a lot of different ways to get us there really consistently. Got 2 Fortress Dragon for the Clockwork Knight as well as Jizukiru. Got 2 Mega Fleet because I always think 1's not enough. Some people disagree with that, but every time I've had 1, I wish I had 2. Got 2 Mirror Jade. Playing 2 Albion and 2 Lubellion. Playing 2 of each. This could probably get cut a little bit, but I'm not really sure exactly which one I want to cut yet. So just run 2 of each, keep it nice and safe. We're also running 1 Masquerade, and I like this card a lot because there's a lot of matchups in certain situations where this just really burns your opponent, and it's a fun card to see. It's a nice card to get out. I have a lot of fun with that. And the last card I'm playing is Mud Dragon. I'm not exactly sure what I want this last card to be. I'm debating putting Super Poly in the sideboard, kind of like what Team Set Pass did. Also, I made a mistake before where I said a Fusion Deployment could summon Aluber from the deck, and we aren't running any extra deck monsters that specifically mention Aluber, so I guess that was a mistake. But regardless, this is going to be the deck I'm going to be having some fun with probably in the month of July. I probably tweak some things here and there as I see fit. But what I really like about this deck is it has Dragoon, it's got Cyber Twin, it's got Chimera Tech, it's got all Cyber Dragons, and it's a lot easier to get these cards out, as well as when they're out, we can kind of make them a little more sticky. Some people are going to hate me for going back to branded, but you know what? Sometimes you got to have some fun, you got to spice things up a little bit, and this is how we're doing it. Thanks for watching. Check out some other Cyber Dragon videos on the channel, and I'll see you there.